What's up, everybody? Welcome on into the Brass Ring Media Podcast for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. I am your host, Zach Haydorn. Super pumped to be here on this Friday afternoon. You'll see that I don't have Tyler Sage with me. Boo to that. Some scheduling, guys. That's it. But it's me. I'm here, and I'm glad you're here with me. We got a lot to do on this week's show. Forbidden Door is this weekend. We finally have another pay-per-view. Or let me take a step back. We have finally a event-filled weekend. The last couple weeks, it felt like, what are we doing? There's no wrestling shows. This is weird for 2025 when so much of the summer has been about pro wrestling and competing shows. And we didn't have any shows the last couple weeks, but we do have Forbidden Door on Sunday from the UK. We are going to spend today's show previewing Forbidden Door. So get your Forbidden Door questions into the live chat now. Get your predictions into the live chat right now. We're going to have a long Forbidden Door conversation, just like we always do here before major events right here at Brass Ring Media. Hello to everybody who's joining us in our live chat. Shout out to Zach here, who says, Happy National Eat a Peach Day. I love these. Zach drops these in almost every week on Thursday afternoons, and I genuinely get excited about, like, I wonder what it is today. And I know I could just Google it myself, but I like hearing it from the words of Zach, or from the mouth of Zach, or from the keyboard of Zach, I guess. So thank you, Zach, for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody else who is here joining as well. We are going to, as I said, preview AEW Forbidden Door 2025 on Tuesday night, which is our other Brass Ring Media podcast. That's the other time we are live on the channel here. We did like a really big deep dive into WWE and into Raw and into Naomi and her pregnancy announcement and what that means for the women's division, how well it was executed. And I thought it was executed very well. And she was just tremendous during it. So definitely check that out if you haven't checked it out already. Give us a review, drop a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your take. Usually we do a WWE focus show on Tuesdays and then an AEW focus show later in the week, either Thursday or Friday, depending on scheduling. And we cover all sorts of stuff in between, of course. But we also have other live shows that you can check out on a week-to-week basis. We've got Nocturnal Knockout on Wednesday evenings. This week, Robert did a deep dive into the brewing war that's coming between pay-per-view and PLE, WWE versus AEW. So it was a really fun show if you missed it. He kind of breaks down the history of pro wrestling companies competing with one another and the history of pay-per-view, how PLE came to be, all sorts of stuff. So it's a really, really fun show. And then on Saturday mornings, tomorrow morning, we will have the Kick-Ass podcast live right here on the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel with Ashley. She'll get you ready for Forbidden Door as well, any kind of final developments that come out. And, of course, review SmackDown and other WWE topics as well. So the moral of the story is there's a lot of great shows that you need to be checking out right here at the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, hit subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know that we are live. If you wouldn't mind hitting like on this video, that helps us out big time with algorithms and such and yuckiness like that. We got to be in the conversation though, right? So if you could hit like, that'd be much appreciated. Also, all of our live shows here on the YouTube channel air as standalone audio shows on our podcast feed. So you can get these shows on the go, wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. So Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, I mean, literally everywhere. And if you are working with a podcast app that we're not on for some reason, let me know, because we should be on everything. And so I definitely want to make good on that. But download us, subscribe to our podcast feed. You can take us on the go every single day, every single week. And we certainly appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, if you are a subscriber, leaving us a 5-star review is wonderful. It's a wonderful way to help out what we do here at Brass Ring Media. Also, we do offer Brass Ring Media membership over on Patreon, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. We have just a wonderful group of members that enjoy our brand of pro wrestling analysis and pro wrestling coverage. We do it the right way, and we're proud of that, but also grateful for all of our members for making that, for allowing that to happen. So if you want to become a member, you get a whole bunch of bonus content, including a free member-only show once a week. You also get all of our pay-per-view and PLE review shows. That's the big perk. All of those review shows are just for our members. We'll record one this weekend after Forbidden Door, and then in next week after Clash in Paris. So it's going to be a busy week for our members. I recorded a bonus member podcast earlier this week about the G1 tournament, about Konosuke Takeshita winning the G1 tournament, and it doesn't age well because I talked about how much Tony Khan should lean into featuring Takeshita on AEW TV after he won the G1, only to find out he wasn't on the show at all. Such is life. But it's there. It was a fun show to do and to record. So you get all that as members, and you also get access to our Discord community and so much more. It's patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. $4 a month is all it is. $4 a month gets you access to everything. And we certainly appreciate your support, and we'll do all we can on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis to earn your business. Shout out to our Brass Ring Media Gold members, Sean Palikta and Adam Kidd. We had Sean drop in the chat here and say, I will go back and watch this tomorrow, but I appreciate everyone and become a member. You won't regret it. It was a week AEW show on Wednesday, but hopefully the pay-per-view will be good. So it's a great segue, Sean. We're here to talk Forbidden Door. I do have the live chat on, and I have super chats on. So if you're willing to drop us a super chat and contribute to Brass Ring Media that way with a question or a comment or anything, rant. I love rants. Go ahead, do that. Any contribution amount helps us greatly, and we do appreciate that support in advance. And it's always fun to answer those questions and take your feedback. So thank you in advance for that. All right, so we've got Forbidden Door this weekend. It's on Sunday. It's from the O2 Arena in the UK in London. And I want to point everybody to an interview that I did this morning with Will Ospreay. Got up bright and early. And so did he, apparently. He was so fantastic. I mean, he was really an open book, mainly about his injury and the severity of it, what is down the road for him as far as being injured and how that goes, and what kind of surgery he's going to be having, what exactly is the medical issue that he's having. He tried really hard to reassure fans that he wasn't, being irresponsible with the risk he was taking by competing at Forbidden Door. So we talked about that a little bit, talked about wrestling in his hometown and some other stuff. So you can catch that interview up on Sports Illustrated website right now, the Takedown on SI, that dropped this morning. So hopefully you guys can go over there and check that out. Certainly would appreciate it. I'm proud of it. And Will Ospreay was just a great interview, just an absolutely great interview. Bucket list item for me, and a lot of fun. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's preview Forbidden Door. We start off kind of with the high level view. And I think this year's Forbidden Door is honestly, it's honestly the right mix for me as far as like the New Japan and AEW crossover. It's kind of not necessarily a focal point of the show this year because they just don't have the horsepower. They don't have the talent, especially on the New Japan side, that's worthy of a big spot on a pay-per-view. So I'm glad in a way that they're not trying to, jam a square peg into a round hole, given the fact that the reason that this pay-per-view exists at all is to do, New Japan versus AEW matches. And sometimes you just don't have those. Sometimes you just don't have those on a big level. New Japan is trying to build new stars at the moment. And until those stars, come about and get fully developed and across the finish line, guys like Shota Umino, guys like Yota Tsuji, guys like Yuya Uemura, like ideally, eventually those guys will be big enough names to put up against, your Adam Pages or your Swerve Stricklands or, that crop of AEW talent, but they're not right now. And so I think it's better for AEW as a company to just pivot slightly, do smaller matches, less important matches with that AEW versus New Japan idea behind them, but then supplement the card with actual big matches that are from AEW. I mean, it's an AEW first pay-per-view. So I'm fine with that. Look, I think that you can look at it and go, well, that makes no sense. Why is it called Forbidden Door? Well, it's just like Forbidden Door it's a pay-per-view brand now for AEW. And so I think, you don't want to be rigid in how you book that show if you don't have the horses, you don't have the star power to do the AEW versus New Japan the right way. Do it this way. Do it this way instead. Don't be rigid. I think that's the right move. And I think Tony Khan, even if you wanted to have New Japan and look at the police are coming for me for this opinion. There must be New Japan fans or something. No, sorry about that, but like it's right outside the house. This activity, I guess you could say. I don't want to turn off the mic because then you guys can't hear me. But boy, oh boy, it's going down out there. It is going down out there. Anyway, yeah. So I'm higher on this, I think, than some people are. Yes, there's no Forbidden Door, like there's no huge dream match, but there isn't a huge dream match right now. So I'm glad that they're not pretending that there is and trying something out there and trying to present it as a dream match when it really isn't. I think that there's an era of AEW where that would happen. And the product's better when that's not happening. You need to be flexible. And I think Tony Khan has been with this show specifically. All right. So we got Maria in the live chat here who says, what's up, everyone? She says hello to Sean. And also, they are after you for your wrestling takes. LOL. Man, I don't know. Yes, they might be. They might be. We got to keep them at bay, though. They kind of like zoomed past, stayed out here for a while, and now they've moved on. So hopefully it's quieter for you guys. But let's go ahead and jump in here and let's preview what is a 9-match card for AEW Forbidden Door. Let's start with the reunion of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. They will take on Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. Not Kip Sabian is teaming with Killswitch instead of Nick Wayne. We had Nick Wayne hurt his ankle. And he announced on Dynamite this week that he's not going to be participating in this match because of that injury. Now, in storyline, Copeland and Christian broke his ankle with their attack. That's how they got him removed from the match from a storyline perspective. I think honestly, this is a maybe a hot take that the police will come back for, but I just think this reunion between Christian and Cope has just been an epic failure. Like, this is their big comeback match? Copeland and Cage against Kip Sabian and Killswitch? What are we doing? Like, I just don't think they've hit the right notes on this from the reunion perspective. Like, as Maria says here in the live chat, it was rushed. It was rushed too quickly. And it absolutely was. I mean, I think when you do a reunion like this with just a very likable nostalgia, anything, tag team or star, or anything of that nature, like you want to give fans permission to get behind it, to get nostalgia about it, to invest in it. And like right now, you have Christian and Copeland reunited, but you never had that like reuniting moment of like, hey, we're back and we're happy about it and we're ready and let's do this. We both want this. Like that was not prevalent. It's been, I'm not so sure, and you're kind of an asshole, but you're my asshole, and I'm not so sure, and I'm still a jerk, and like we're partners, yes, but we're not really into this. And it's just like, who wants to get behind that? Like it's like needless drama. Sometimes in pro wrestling, it's better when it's just straightforward at you. Cheer this reunited team against this heel team. Boom. Done. That's simple. And right now, I think people don't know how to feel about it. Like Christian hasn't been all that likable. Copeland has not been all that likable. They're not funny together. They're not likable together. They're not imposing from a physical perspective. There's just nothing going on. And add into that the fact that this whole Kip Sabian, Nick Wayne thing was backwards, starting it all in. I just think you have a really poor storyline here and a poor angle and just a poor, like, look, you can only play this reunion card one time. The first time, you only get one shot at it. And instead of it being this big thing and this big moment, it kind of was just like tucked away on Dynamite and now we're not so sure. And like, I get that you want to maybe have a story here, but boy, it's just, to me, it's flattened out. The idea of like trying to milk this longer has just flattened out what should have been a plug and play type angle of let's build this nostalgia part of our show and let's get people to cheer these guys and let's tell them why they should cheer them and why they are such a historic tag team. Like, I think they're missing on all of that in an effort to just not like, or in an effort to get more storyline out of it. So I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just a big miss. I'm gonna answer a text here from old Tyler. All right, he's bummed. He says he's bummed for not for not joining, but he's here in text. He's here on text. All right, let's move on. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this match? Do you think it's been a good feud? Do you think the reunion's been good? Drop it in the comments. Would love to see that in there, and also do some predicting with you. As far as my prediction goes, I think I'm having to take Cope and Christian here. Shocker! No, obviously that's going to be the pick, right? I mean, you don't do this match, you don't do this reunion because of the fact that you want to put over, Kip Sabian and Kill Switch. That's not a thing that's going to happen. That is not a thing that's going to happen. So definitely it's going to be Cope and Christian here. You hope that this win maybe brings them together. They don't like the prediction. They don't like the prediction. My goodness gracious. I'm glad that's not me. So you don't bring them together to have them do a job to this team. Maybe if you had FTR out there, maybe if you had the Young Bucks out there opposite them, okay, maybe that's something you think about. But no, not with those other big matches on the table. So Cope and Christian are definitely going to win this one. That's the prediction. I'm sticking to it. Let me know what you guys think. We have a question here from Tyler. Tyler says, I think AEW pay-per-views, or not a question, a comment. He says, I think AEW pay-per-views, they have 7-8 matches on this card, and I can't wait to watch it, but I'm live in Arizona. I'm just going to wake up at 8 or 9. There you go. So you're the kind of fan that they want. A flexible fan that is that is willing to see them anywhere that they are. Fernando's taking Christian and Cope and Christian all the way, he says. All right, let's move on. We got the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness. This one, I think, is going to be such a fun match. I was doing a preview show for SI earlier this week, and one of the SP3, one of the people that we were doing the show with, said that this is like the same. It's like Bret Hart against Bryan Danielson. Like, that's what this is in terms of like style and what it would be like for American wrestlers from two different eras to wrestle each other. This is worlds colliding. You know, I mean, this is old guard in Nigel McGuinness, new guard, Zack Sabre Jr., both from the UK, both similar stylistically, and they get to collide head on. Look, I don't think that the world title is like hangs in the balance here. I mean, it does from a perspective of that it's going to be on the line, but like it's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. that's retaining the title here. Like, that's just going to happen. So there's not going to be as much drama as you'd want from this match from that perspective. But man, is it going to be a fun watch. And sometimes that's good enough. Sometimes that's good enough. And this is an example of a true Forbidden Door style match, New Japan against AEW. And so it works on that level, but also it just works because you've got this Nigel McGuinness thing going on, and you've got this clash of eras, and that's, I think, really fun. I think that's going to make for a really fun environment. So I'm taking Zack Sabre Jr. to win here, of course, but I think it is going to be a fun match, especially because it's taking place in the UK as well. So that's another reason why. I got to write something here. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Let's see. Maria says here, Zack Sabre Jr. wins. He's the best wrestler in the world, pound for pound. That's a big claim. I don't know that I can argue with it though. He had a pretty good G1. I liked his matches in the G1 quite a bit. I know a lot of people are down on the G1, but and it certainly wasn't, a top 10 G1. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, like he really has, he really can go, and he can really tell a story in the ring. So it's it's going to be a good match for that reason. All right, then we've got the TBS Championship on the line. Mercedes Moné against Alex Windsor, against Persephone, against Bozilla in a fatal four-way match. This is another clash of different companies. You've got CMLL represented here. You've got AEW represented here. You've got Stardom represented here as well. Like the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness match, this doesn't have a ton of drama in it either. It just is going to be Mercedes. And so the question is, how good of a match can they put on, I guess is what I'm looking for here. So what do you think? I mean, I wouldn't bet against Mercedes Moné these days. I mean, she is on another level, a very, very high level, as far as that goes. And she doesn't have very many straight up bad matches. And there's some exciting stuff to watch in this. Persephone's been a really fun talent. And I think she kind of meshes with Mercedes Moné really well. We know what Alex Windsor can do. Bozilla, very different type of pro wrestler that's going to be in this match. So definitely a clash of styles in this one as well. But Mercedes Moné is going to win. I mean, I just, they have so much equity built up in Mercedes and that TBS championship right now that it's like, you really want to use, if someone's going to beat her for that title, man, you want to use that to elevate somebody, to really make a new star. And they've got that set up. And so you don't waste it. You just don't waste it here. So Mercedes Moné to retain the AEW TBS championship. Tyler here says Mercedes Moné is going to win. She's the GOAT, and she is a future Hall of Fame wrestler. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Maria also says here, Mercedes is winning. She's not losing the TBS title until she passes Jade's TBS title reign. Well, yeah, that's a thing. I can see Tony Khan being quite petty about that, perhaps. So it could easily be a thing. Tyler had a question here. I believe you had a question here. Yes, up here, Tyler asks, do you think one is better? Do you think the AEW pay-per-view is better than NXT Heatwave? Like matches, storylines, etc. Yes, Tyler, for sure. I mean, NXT Heatwave is fine, and I say this about every NXT show, and we'll cover it here at Wrestling Media in some form. But NXT shows are always, the builds are kind of They don't really mean anything, but if you watch it, you're going to be entertained. Like, they put on good shows. I think the up and coming talent in NXT wants to deliver on a very high level, and they're given time to do that on these shows. So if you choose to watch NXT Heatwave, and I will be watching, and like I said, covering for Wrestling Media that show, I think you're going to get a good show, even though it's not going to live up to, what AEW puts out there with Forbidden Door. Good question, Tyler. Thank you. All right, let's keep it rolling here. The tag team titles are on the line. Hurt Syndicate versus FTR versus Brodito. We had Brodito and FTR wrestle to a draw on AEW Dynamite this week. That was supposed to be the deciding match of the tournament to crown a number one contender. They wrestled to a draw. Now they're both in the match. Kind of a cop out, if you ask me. Like, you get people to invest in this big tournament where you're going to have a winner and you're going to have it's an eliminator tournament, and you have that, and then you just don't stick to it. You have two winners, so it's kind of like, okay. Now, I love the match. I thought the tag team match on Wednesday was fantastic. You don't see many tag team matches like that anymore, especially on like free television. So it was a hell of a match. But come on, kind of bad booking. And by all reports, Hurt Syndicate did not want and don't want to drop the titles to FTR, so FTR can go on and have a feud with Christian and Copeland for those tag team titles. And so, because that news broke, the fans are automatically thinking to themselves, well, that's why Brodito's in the match, so FTR can pin them to win the titles. Or you can eliminate, it's an eliminator match, so you can eliminate Hurt Syndicate in some kind of crazy way where they're protected, right? You can read this one like a book. And so I think FTR is going to win the tag titles here. The match that you want to do if you're Tony Khan, now that you've brought together Christian and Copeland, is Cope and Christian, the reunited team, against FTR. And then you can do Cope and Christian against the Young Bucks. And then you can do Cope and Christian against Hurt Syndicate down the road. But you want those tag titles to be involved in this match, I think. So I think Tony Khan is making the right decision in doing what he has to do to get the belts off of the Hurt Syndicate at this moment in time. So FTR is my official pick of this match. All right, we've got Kyle Fletcher against Hiromu Takahashi, TNT Championship on the line. All right, here's what I want you to do. Rewind, and nearly everything that I say about the Zack Sabre Jr. Nigel McGuinness match can be said about this match. I don't think this match has any real drama behind it in terms of who's going to win, right? Kyle Fletcher's not losing the TNT title to Hiromu Takahashi here. That's just, to me, that's just like a certainty at this point. Fletcher's too important to the future of AEW. So Tony Khan is not going to sacrifice that just for a surprising outcome here. So Hiromu Takahashi's not going to win. However, this match is going to be one of the best matches on the show. Mark my words on that, because it features two really good in-ring workers from a technical perspective. They're crisp, they're fast-paced, they're fun to watch, but they're also like cutting edge in terms of style. I think they're both really, really creative in the ring. I think that creativity playing off one another, playing off each other in the match is going to make for a really, really cool, environment. And so I'm excited for this one, and it's going to be a moment for Kyle Fletcher to shine, and just a cool Forbidden Door type match that I think is gonna, gonna steal the show in a lot of ways. Maria says here, Kyle Fletcher is totally winning. He is the future of AEW. Can't agree more. Can't agree more, Maria. I mean, he really is. I mean, that the bottom line is he really, really is. And so, that means you don't job him out to Hiromu Takahashi here. You just don't. I'm having a technical difficulty right now with some of the comments. So I'm going to go off camera for a minute, fix this, and then I'm coming right back. So hold on. Do not go anywhere. Play the Jeopardy music in your head, and I will be right. All right, and we're back. Hopefully this works now. Were you guys able to see the comments before? Drop me a little line, because when I put them up, I started getting error messages from the comments. So hopefully this works. Tyler says he'll be our first one. I think Kyle Fletcher is the future world champion. I think Tony Khan needs to push him to the main event. He's close. I mean, he's close. I mean, look, I think the only thing like stopping Kyle Fletcher at this point from like reaching another level is just that there's not a lot of spots, right? I mean, not everybody can be in the main event. And so you've got a pretty good main event picture right now. You got Paige there, you got MJF there, you've got Swerve, you had Ospreay. He's going to be taking some time off, but you know, Mox, like it's a crowded picture. It's a crowded picture. So, you know, you don't want to put him up there and then not have anything for him to do. So for right now, I think this is a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot for him. All right, let's keep it rolling here with our preview. We got the lights out cage match. Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Darby Allin, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega against Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Gabe Kidd, and the Young Bucks. This is going to be wild. This is going to be pandemonium. This is going to be your crazy match of the night. It's going to end the show because it is a lights out match. And I just think you're going to see some wild stuff. I mean, Darby, Will Ospreay, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Gabe Kidd. I mean, there's a lot of innovative talent in this match. So I'm expecting this to be a wild one. I'm taking the babyfaces to win. You know, I think, you know, you want to send Will Ospreay kind of off into the sunset here for his injury with a W. I'm kind of finishing that story with the Death Riders because, look, like the Death Riders can easily pivot. I mean, they're building up to a Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin match, right? And so, to me, you get there. You could get there with the Jon Moxley win, right? You can get there with Jon Moxley winning the match, beating up Darby Allin, beating up Will Ospreay. But then it positions the Death Riders again as like this like upper level heel team. And I guess that's kind of what they are, but you don't want Jon Moxley back in the title picture again. I mean, that ship has sailed. So you have to be careful that they're not presented as so unstoppable that they need to be in the championship picture. So I'm taking Ospreay here for that reason. Also, it's a hometown. I'm going to be taking MJF in the men's title match. So spoiler alert, I think you want to send the fans home happy because that is not going to be a very happy moment. And you got Will Ospreay here to do that. So I'm taking Will Ospreay and Team Ospreay on this one. All right, we've got Kazuchika Okada against Swerve Strickland for the AEW Unified Championship. Again, bummer that the news came out that Swerve Strickland has been wrestling with a torn meniscus in his knee for 6 years. Is there anything more pro wrestling than that? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything more pro wrestling than somebody wrestling for 6 years with a torn meniscus. This should be a heck of a match, but you got to wonder what Swerve Strickland has in the tank, given the fact that he's injured. So that, you know, that's concerning a little bit as far as like the match quality here. But regardless, I still think these guys are good talents. We've seen, you've seen Swerve Strickland work with a bad knee for 6 years. So, you know, yes, he's going to go get it fixed, but it may just be that he's able to just still have a good match and then go get it fixed. So I'm not as worried about this one as I am Will Ospreay in his cage match. But with Swerve's injury, and even without Swerve's injury, Okada wins here. They've this championship run that he's been on. It's been good from the perspective of building Okada's prestige up. And I think you want to keep that going. You want to do an Ospreay Okada match at some point. You want to do a Hangman Page against Okada match at some point in AEW. You want to do another match with Kenny Omega for sure. So the best way to do that is to keep protecting Okada and keep making sure that he is, the absolute best. He is the absolute best position that he can be in. Okada's got to win for that to happen. All right, then we've got Toni Storm against Athena for the AEW Women's Championship. I know that there's a lot of momentum around Athena winning the title here. I don't think that's an awful choice, especially given the fact that Toni Storm has beaten everybody. And if you want someone to beat her to really get something out of it, I think Athena does just that. But I still think it's Toni Storm's time. I think it's Toni Storm's time to shine and time to own this division and have the division be about her. And so I'm taking Toni Storm here. I think she, just like she beat Mercedes Moné at All In, she gets the win here. And you just make other stars, build them up to face her. She's that important to the women's division right now in AEW. And I don't think you want to, pull back on the gas pedal with that. You want to lean into it. She's the biggest star that you have in the women's division. Sometimes it's not time to make other talent. Sometimes it's just to put on the full court press with the talent that you have and make this era of AEW about Toni Storm. And I think that's what's at play here. And so sometimes you just go with it. I think that's where they're at. So I'm taking Toni Storm to beat Athena and what I think will be a really good match. And then finally, you have Adam Page against MJF for the AEW World Championship, the Men's World Championship. Can we all talk for a minute about MJF trying to light Mark Briscoe on fire? Come on, people. Like that can't get out of the writer's room. That can't get out of Tony Khan's office. That can't get past the production team. It's silly. It's nonsense. It's unbecoming of MJF as a heel. He's better than that. I really did not like this because, number one, nobody actually believed that MJF was going to light Mark Briscoe on fire. And so if nobody buys that, it makes Adam Page's reaction and the fact that he just gives everything to MJF that MJF wants so unlikable. It's like, dude, we can all see that this isn't actually going to happen, but you can't. So you ask your babyface to be put in a really bad position. you put your babyface in a position to look silly, to look stupid, and to get taken advantage of. So that's one element of what I didn't like. I also really didn't like that the angle this week totally undercut the angle last week. And the angle last week was much better. You had a babyface and Adam Page like tangling with MJF from a mental games perspective and winning. That was likable Adam Page. And then he just rewound it and went backwards. Why do they do that? Why do they do what they do? I'm happy this match is taking place, though, because I think too often in AEW, you got title matches after big title wins that just didn't feel like worthy title matches. This does. This is your top babyface against your top heel, arguably. Or maybe not even arguably, right? So that's good for business. It's good for business to just run your big matches when you can. I mean, look, we've seen Orange Cassidy in a lot of title matches post big win when there were heels involved. We've seen Jack Perry against Bryan Danielson as a major title match, right? So, this is big for the company in that it's just an actual big title match that has real stakes. And I think real drama behind it, because I think that there's a genuine chance that MJF wins the title. And I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. I'm predicting MJF to win the AEW World Championship in this match, not a cash-in. In this match, I think he gets the W. Look, MJF doesn't lose very often. He does not lose very often. He's not a guy that does many jobs, and he's already lost to Adam Page once. So conventional wisdom tells you that he's going to get the win here. Plus, look, we know that AEW with Adam Page on the chase is good for that company. People like getting behind Adam Page. So why not get some heat, put MJF over, and now you have Paige chase MJF down, and you've got, the big trilogy match whenever you want it if you're Tony Khan. Doesn't sound like too bad of an idea, if you ask me. So I'm taking MJF. I think this is going to be the match of the night. I think the fans are most invested in this one. So I do have this as my match of the night prediction. We got some good comments from Andrew H. in our chat here. Andrew H. says, once again, leaning on unnecessary nonsense to tell a story. Tony still can't ride with the training wheels off. Yeah, it is nonsense. I mean, it is. It's nonsense. It's silliness, and it's minor league, if you ask me. It's minor league. Andrew H. also says here, conventional wisdom also says that you should not have put it on Hangman to then just pass the hot potato to MJF. Well, that depends. I mean, yeah, Paige losing would take some wind out of the sails of Paige. There's no question about it. But it's not like MJF is some nobody. He is, one of the, if not the biggest star that you have in that company. So, if you want Will Ospreay to come back and have title matches, if you want Strickland to have good title matches, like all those title matches work better with a heel as champion and not babyface Adam Page. So conventional wisdom, yes, it does. But MJF, I just don't think he's some run of the mill guy that you just forget about. He's one of your big time players. He's one of your big time players. All right, that's the show, you guys. That's all 9 matches. We'll have this covered for you in detail in the Brass Ring Media newsletter, which you can find on Substack. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. We update that every single day with new content, show reviews, show receipt reports, editorials, some interviews, and tons more. So check it out on Substack. Just search Brass Ring Media Substack, and we'll come up. You can subscribe totally for free, and you can, and that way you can get access to all of our written work, including Forbidden Door coverage. Don't forget, tomorrow, the Kick-Ass podcast with Ashley. She'll be giving you final preview of Forbidden Door and a rundown and analysis and discussion of SmackDown, which airs actually here in a couple minutes, or it might even be on the air right now because it is from Europe. So look out for that tomorrow. The Kick-Ass podcast. You don't want to miss that one. Once again, check out our membership options at patreon.com/BrassRingMedia. I thank everybody who joined me in the chat today. Andrew H., Maria, Fernando, and Tyler, and Zach, of course. Thank you. Been a blast. Awesome show. Really fun to review this with you guys and preview what should be a fun night in professional wrestling. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you guys really, really soon. For Tyler, who's not here, I'm Zach, and we'll see you later.